I use paper towel, take a rag or paper towel and clean it, just wipe it off, so all you have left is what is really soaked into or already bonded to the wood while it's still liquid. And it'll set up to the touch in 10 minutes or so, still a little tacky. And usually I'll just let it sit while I go to lunch or something like that, so a few hours later, then I go at it with that finer grit paper and then possibly buff it. Just before I start this, one of you guys grab that bowl with a hole in the side and pass it around. That bowl is finished with this CA glue. The outside has been buffed after it was sanded with the ultra fine, and the inside is left matte. Other than that, it's the same finishing process.
So it dries to a matte finish?
It dries to a matte finish, but it's not particularly smooth. And if you hit it with that 1000 grit paper, you get the finish that's in this bowl. And all the other ones that I've got up there. And then I buff the outside just with the Beal. I use Triple E and then White Diamond. And I don't put any wax on it because the stuff feels so neat as it is. All right, a little demo. It's a little bitty bowl, so I'm sure you'll be able to see it better on the television. We've got the lathe turning quite slowly, and if your lathe won't turn really slow, you may want to get a helper who'll turn it, because if you were going very fast, it might sling this stuff around, and you sure as hell don't want CA glue slinging around. I often find, I get ready, I got my glove on, my right hand, I got the glue in my right hand, and then I got to I've done it so many times, I damn near glue my hand to that pad. So, okay, can we see on the TV?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, I just squeeze this until I get a surface, a wet surface, and come out and get the edge. So once it's on there, I give it just a few seconds and then wipe off the excess. Don't be too aggressive about that, you just don't want any drips. And that's done. Now, you can sand that, as I say, in a couple hours. I have put a second coat on some things, and I found once in a while that the second coat doesn't lay down smoothly. It tends to not quite bead up, but almost, so it's not flowing out. You know, it doesn't adhere, almost like water on a no-stick pan or something. Not completely, it will still wet the surface, but you get a rougher finish. And you can sand that out, but then when you buff it, you tend to get streaks where it's really shiny, where it was thicker. So I haven't found yet a successful way to get a second coat on there. The company does sell a thicker material, more viscous, that may coat a surface that's got some little flaws or something in there better. I haven't tried that, but I'd like to.
Gary, have you tried an accelerator with that?
I have seen that in the videos that you can spray it with the accelerator, but if you do that and you find you got a little dingle in there that you want to put just a little second coat on, I'd be afraid it'd set up immediately. I haven't used accelerator with this for that reason.
I have no experience with this stuff except one little tea light that I did Monday night, because I got the reference from Barry and I thought I would try it, because finish has been frustrating for me. I did try the accelerator on one and I got little splotches, I noticed. So what I ended up doing was taking 320, sanding it down, and then I buffed everything and it seemed to go okay. But just to add a little more information, Soleil claims this is medical grade super glue, and he says you have a 40-second delay before it starts to polymerize. This is stuff off the video.
Yeah, right.
And he claims, Soleil, that what he suggests you do is you buff it down to essentially take off everything that's on the surface and just let whatever was calculated into the wood fibers left. So the way he talks is, so you really don't want anything on the surface with this stuff. You want just the wood and then level with the Parvex.
Hey, Barry, you sort of mentioned this, you know, your bowls are real smooth and nicely turned. What about live edge bowls or with more irregular, natural?
Well, you know, I got that one I passed around with a hole in it.
Yeah,
Now, as that was turning, I could put the finish on the same way, you know, where you kind of just barely touch it
yeah.
as it's going past the hole, and even so, it is likely to catch and tear the paper a little. I didn't let that bother me. But on something like a Erie natural edge bowl, I think you can put the stuff on there and wipe it. Jeff, you said you tried it on a non-rotating piece?
Yeah, it was those little bowls that we made from the, you know, the challenge pieces or whatever. And I put it on the inside while it was rotating slowly and touched it lightly to wipe it down. And then the outside, I didn't want to get it all over my plate that I use for my suction, my vacuum system. And so I just wiped it on like this. And that really didn't work out that badly, except that it really seemed to set up faster than, I mean, it was setting up by the time I was wiping it off. In fact, it got rough, so I had to do some sanding just to smooth it back out again.
Well, that goes along with my experience on, particularly on a second coat, that get a little trouble. The bowl here, so it's still just a little tacky on the inside. The outside, I haven't taken the tenon off yet, but when I finished the outside, while it was on the smooth sand of the outside on the faceplate, I went ahead and finished it. So it's been finished with a CA on the outside, and then I can put this on a vacuum chuck or in cold jaws or anything else, take the tenon off and finish that area. And it blends very well. The cherry bowl, little cherry bowl this size that's up there, I did that way, and you can't see where there's line where it changed finish. The inside's just a little sticky. Let's see what else is up there. The platter that's up there is finished with this stuff, and it's very, very, very slick, smooth finish. It's a very different feel when you get with the varnish. That platter is to be used for a sign for the club when we do wood turning demos. So we're going to get Dave to engrave something on it, clever like Michiana wood turners or something like that. Or maybe from some of the suggestions I got, we need to have the entire set of bylaws put on it.
An attendance record.
Do you think it adds any integrity to the wood?
This thing has a funny step in it, right? It'll go 120 or something, then it jumps to 200 to 300. But anyway, this stuff is, I'd usually let it set longer, but it seems to be pretty dry, just a little kind of tackiness there. We'll see what happens if I hit it now.
So what's the grid on that?
They say it's about 800 or 1,000.
And they call that a what? Very fine
Ultra fine.
or ultra fine?
Yeah, they make it in several grades, and I think I said it's made for body shop use mostly. So I imagine you could use it wet if you had some product that didn't mind water as much as wood does. It's still, when I feel in here, it still feels just a little tacky, like we should have waited another couple hours, but we didn't want the meeting to go until tomorrow. So you can get an idea, and then we'll see how it responds. You don't need the Beal system unless you really want a high gloss, but you can polish it up. Okay, let's see how this guy does here.
You think they can polish with an automotive polish or plastic?
Well,
Any other
the
plastic polishes?
the guy Soleil talks about a polish that he uses that is made